mission, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, Granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When these crime busters run, no victims left in pain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? Good to see you. Hello, Ginger Girl. I hope everybody's having a good evening so far. Good weekend, kind of toward the end of it, right? I've had a pretty good day. I've been doing some different things. So tonight we are going to talk about Sebastian, obviously. Deception detective, who I thought was done. He had even made a point of saying he was done with Sebastian Rogers' case. Put out a video today. So I was kind of surprised. Hello, Neuro. Good to see you. So we're going to go over that and talk about it. Statement analysis, I think, has really helped us understand the case better, right? It helped us understand why we think the way we do. You know, when Sebastian first went missing, and, we were just kind of feeling sorry for all the parents and nobody was talking yet. And then all of a sudden, Chris and Katie came out, right? And immediately there was so many of us that just had this icky feeling, right? And the more they talked, the more our thoughts and our inclinations and just the way we were feeling solidified, right? And it was because of their statements. And then we watched behavior analysis and we watched statement analysis, and we realized we weren't stupid, right? We weren't being stupid. We were right on track. And deception detective, and as many of people in our family like to call him, gut feeling, yes, Neuro. But many of our people in our family like to call him Mr. Yummy. Like, okay. He's one of my favorites. I think he's one of all of our favorites, and he's very good at what he does, right? He's really good at what he does. And so, yeah, our gut feelings that we had when we watched those interviews, it's not because we wanted to pick a side. I don't think any of us wanted to think that one of the parents, or any of the parents, step parents included, was responsible for Sebastian being gone. I know I certainly didn't want to feel like that, right? But we have questions, right? We have questions. There's many questions. For those of you who saw last night's kind of short video on the Billboard campaign that At Night has been putting up all over the United States and on the borders, All those questions are questions that we have, right? And Katie was the last one, as far as we know, to see Sebastian. So she's never answered those questions. Instead, she has continued to lie. Now, I have not watched this new video from Deception Detective. I purposely just waited to watch it with you guys because I want my reaction to be as real as yours. Okay. It is good to hear from a professional like Deception Detective, and it clarifies we feel the same way all along, especially as they know what to look for specifically. Exactly. They're the professionals. We're only sitting back here watching what's going on and invested in the case because we care about Sebastian. We care about that young man being found, right? That's that's our investment into this. Another investment is whether we've passed out flyers or whether we've put his picture in the billboards up on our social media every single day, right? I've been doing that for months and months, guys. I know some of our people, I've seen some of our people have been doing the same thing. So, important, right? Important. So then when we have a professional come along, like Neuro said, it clarifies everything that we've been feeling. And it helps us to know it to be true, right? So without further ado, I'm going to watch this for the first time right along with you guys. So, and the title of his video is Somehow It Got Worse. I don't know what that means, but here we go. And hello, Jackie Taylor. Good to see you. All right. I don't know what he means by somehow it got worse, but we're going to find out.
The last time I saw my son was when he went to bed, December 7th. He turned 16, and he should be home for that.
That's Katie Proudfoot, and I think she knows what happened to her missing son, Sebastian Rogers. And it's not just because of slip-ups like that where she talks about him in the past tense. Mainly it's because of the things she doesn't say in her interviews. So in today's video, let's watch her most recent TV interview, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. So if that's your thing, hit like and subscribe. For early access to new videos, exclusive videos, and other perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. Even if you're not familiar with this case or haven't seen the other videos in my Sebastian Rogers playlist, there's no need to worry because the interview we're about to analyze contains some news clips that will bring you up to speed. So there's just one thing I want to recap before we grab our deception decks and start analyzing Katie. And that's the 7 things I look for when I'm analyzing the parent of a missing child on TV. And coincidentally, I went over those in one of my earliest videos covering this case, where I analyzed Katie and her husband Chris doing a TV interview. And even back then, they didn't do any of these things. So here's what we look for. We want the parents to speak about the kid in the present tense. We want the parents to be cooperative. So if they get asked a question, they do their best to answer the question and not over answer, right? So they answer what they're asked, but they're not trying to push a narrative. Like the McCanns pushing the narrative of a kidnapping when they're asked what could have happened. Third is the parents are inconclusive. So if the parents say 100%, my kid was kidnapped without any evidence that someone broke into the house, or in this case, they say, my kid walked away or ran away without any evidence that the kid did that, it's a red flag. Fourth, if the kid is missing and the parents are on TV, we can expect them to address a kidnapper. So even if they're not sure the kid was kidnapped, they don't know what actually happened. So we can expect them to at least look into the camera and say, if you have my son, Sebastian, please return him to us. We won't pursue you. Just drop him off at a police station. Fifth, we can expect parents to address the child through the camera. Since they don't know what happened to their kid, for all they know, the kid is watching. So they'll take that opportunity to speak to the kid. Sebastian, we know you're out there. If you're watching this, we love you. We're going to find you. Sixth, the parents ask for help. That's the entire point of these appearances. If the parents don't ask for help, it means A, that they might know the kid is beyond any help. They might know the kid is already dead. Or it might mean they have an ulterior motive. They're not necessarily doing this interview to help find their kid. They're doing it to push a narrative, or they're doing it to clear their own name. Either way, they have some other agenda, and that's not expected if your kid is missing. And seventh, there's a call to action. So if the parents have to be prompted to say, if you see my kid, call 911, or if they have to be prompted to describe their kid or ask for help, it means that, once again, their appearance was not about finding the kid. There was some ulterior motive, and we need to figure out what that was. Okay, so that's the list. That's what we're going to look out for. And it's not based on some big study or me just sitting in a room wondering what would I do if my kid was missing. It's simply things that I've noticed that actual parents of missing children do spontaneously because they don't know what happened. Whereas hoaxers tend not to do these things, at least they don't do them unprompted, because they actually know what happened. So it doesn't occur to them in the first place. All right, without further ado, let's listen to Katie.
Okay. So before we get into that, did you guys hear that he said, I am deception detective and I think that Katie is responsible for her son Sebastian's disappearance? Wow. Crazy. Crazy. I agree with you, Robin. They don't want him. That's why he's gone. Oh, talking about Ginger Girl. That's good to hear. I'm glad she's doing better. Okay, let's see. I missed more than I thought I did. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Hello, K9. Robin. I hear you, Robin. Okay, let's continue on.
The last time I saw my son was when he went to bed.
Tonight marks 1 year since Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home near Beach High School in Sumner County. He's 16 now, but there are still no confirmed sightings or leads in the case.
Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino sat down with Rogers' mother, Katie Proudfoot, in the search for her son and the ongoing public scrutiny surrounding this investigation.
3, 2. A voice and an exuberant smile that have been missing for a year that Sebastian Rogers has gone without his favorite things.
Cats are the number one. He loves animals, almost all animals.
Animals, video games, books, and any chance in the pool.
He loves water. He swims like a fish.
Sebastian also missed his birthday.
December 7th.
Before we hear what she said there, look at how red she is, guys. Look at how red she is. She's hugely, just, and shiny red, right? I know, she's probably got some lights on her as well, but it's interesting to me.
He turned 16 and he should be home for that.
As I said in the intro, it's not a great sign that Katie talks about Sebastian in the past tense, even if it's just a slip up every now and then. And that's because we always speak based on what we know. So if a mother knows that her son is dead or believes that he's dead for some reason, it often slips out through her words. And Katie actually looked like she was aware that she was doing it and huffed and almost made a big deal about correcting herself. So does this mean that she killed Sebastian and she knows something happened to him? No, not necessarily, but we're just taking note of it. It's even a card in the deception deck. And that's because Susan Smith in 1996 famously talked about her sons in the past tense, when at the time, just like Sebastian, they were just missing. So even though we're only 1 minute into this heavily edited interview, we already have Katie violating the first rule on my missing presser checklist, talking about the kid in the past tense.
December 7th. He turned 16, and he should be home for that.
But Sebastian, who has autism, hasn't been home since February of last year. After dinner at the Texas Roadhouse on the 25th, Katie says she and her son went home.
Did anything happen the night he went missing that was like caused him to run away? Was he punished in any way? An argument? Just a normal night?
It was a normal night. It was a calm night.
That turned tumultuous by the next morning.
When I went in his room, and he wasn't there. He wasn't in his bed.
Katie says she frantically searched the house and drove around the neighborhood at 6:30 a.m. until she and Sebastian's stepfather, who says he was away for work at the time, called police.
There's lots of problems here, but they really all boil down to one thing, that Katie isn't being cooperative, which is another item on our checklist. In fact, she seems to be going in order of the checklist. And by uncooperative, I mean she's not actually answering the questions that she's being asked, which you'd expect her to do because these are questions that allow her to provide us with information to go help find her missing kid. For example, the journalist asked her about the night Sebastian went missing. And what did Katie say? Well, she didn't actually answer the question. Instead, she sat there silently until the journalist hopped in to break the silence and provided the answer for her. It was the journalist who said, well, was it a normal night? And then Katie repeated that answer. Moreover, the one other detail she provided, that it was calm, is vague, which is another thing that liars typically are. They're vague because if they have a co-conspirator, they need to line up their stories together. So they don't want to give too many concrete details because they might tell different stories and get exposed. Or they just never thought of the details in the first place. Finally, Katie did another thing that was uncooperative and a hallmark of liars who are trying to conceal information. She told us what she didn't see in Sebastian's bedroom instead of what she did see. For example, were the bed sheets tussled like someone had pulled him out of bed? Or was the bed neatly made like he'd never actually crawled into bed that night? Was the window open? Was his door open? Was the light switch flicked on like he'd brazenly left in the middle of the night? Or was it flicked off like he tried to sneak out? We don't know. All she told us is what she didn't see. Again, does this mean that she's guilty? No, not necessarily. But by this point, I've been analyzing them for a year.
I never thought about those things before, guys. What did she see? Good point. We don't know if the covers were all messed up, do we? We don't know if the light was left on. Well, we kind of do because the Ring camera would have seen it, right? Yeah, she did not tell us what she saw in that room. She told us what she didn't see, right? Well, and we know why. We do know why. It's because she knew when she walked into that room, or maybe she didn't even walk into that room. He wasn't there because she helped at 3 a.m. to take him somewhere, right? So, but he brings up some good points, but I can bet you guys that the next video that comes out of Chris and Katie, she's going to have corrected these 7 things. If I was the betting person, I'd bet you. I'm not. All right, let's see what I missed here. That's right. That's right, Neuro Robin. racking her brain for even weeks before. Yeah. Yeah. Well, she didn't rack her brain. The only thing she racked her brain about was planning his abduction, in my opinion. Exactly, Jackie. And when she starts to make a mistake, like she did with he would have been 16, and she said he would have, and stopped and took a deep breath and blew it out because she knew she made a mistake and she had to get herself back on track. Exactly. That's why because she knows she makes mistakes. Right, Neural? Guys, for those of you who had children, the last word I would ever use would be calm. Especially with my youngest one around. Oh my gosh. And I'm sure every family has, if you have more than one child, you had a child that was oh, the bubbly, joyful, mischievous child, right? That does not bring calm, but brings chaos. Yep, lack of detail. Yeah. She thinks she's giving detail, but she's not. Ooh, do we care that he ate a gigantic popcorn? Colossal, that was the word, colossal, right? Do we care that he ate a colossal popcorn? Yeah, he adjusted, she adapts. Yep. Big swallow. Yep. To get herself back under control. That's right. All right, let's continue on.
And I think that Katie does know what happened to Sebastian, even if she doesn't know exactly where he is right now. I won't rehash my full theory here, but I'll link that video at the end of this one if you want to check it out next. Okay, let's keep listening.
Days later, investigators combed through a landfill 2 hours away, still saying they had found nothing.
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance.
Okay, now that's misleading. That's very misleading by this reporter, because they did find something at the landfill. They said they did. Craddock, he wasn't talking about the landfill here in the first place. So that's what's misleading about this reporter, right? And I'm sorry, Craddock doesn't belong talking about this case. He just doesn't. That's my opinion. He just doesn't belong talking about it. He has only made things worse, in my opinion, with his words.
Of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out.
We're not ruling anything out.
For the next year, any activity involving Sebastian's case would fuel droves of online followers and even a restraining order against one YouTuber.
There were quite a bit of people that were, sending some very threatening and hateful messages to us.
What would you say to those people?
Just stop.
Fox 17 News sent the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the lead agency in the investigation, a list of questions in anticipation of this story, including asking if there are any new leads, what kind of evidence detectives have vetted, and if investigators still believe.
I will say this. People have asked me before in chat, did they ever check the crawl space? I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but they just showed a guy crawling out of the crawl space. Let's see here. See if I can find it. Wasn't that far. We'll just go back a little bit.
hateful messages to us.
What would you say to those people?
Just stop.
Fox 17 News sent the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the lead agency in the investigation, a list of questions
Right there, guys. Right there.
in anticipation of this story, including asking if there are any new leads, what kind of evidence detectives have vetted, and if investigators still believe there is no indication of foul play. Sheriff Eric Craddock responded in an email saying, "This is an active and ongoing investigation. We continue to work with our state and federal partners. We will continue to seek a resolution in this case."
See what I mean about his wording? We will continue to seek a resolution in this case. What does that mean, guys? What does that mean? Like, yeah. Seeking a resolution. What does he mean? So that at some point they can just declare it's dead. The case is dead. It's cold. There's nothing else that we can do. There's no more tips coming in. Well, you know what? At night is not going to let it go dead. And they are not, At Night and Dog are not saying they want a resolution. They are saying, we're coming for you. We're going to find him. Right? Not seeking a resolution in this case. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say, and guys, don't get me wrong. I know that Sumner County is working with Seth, and I'm glad about that. What I'm telling you is Eric Craddock needs to quit doing interviews. As much as we want to hear from the police, it shouldn't be him. Because all he does is make everybody angry. He just needs, yeah, exactly, Jackie. It's just lip service. I'm sure Mike DeMann has strong words about Craddock's statements. And yeah, I do want to remind you guys what Ginger says here. Bracelets, t-shirts, flyers, and ways to volunteer or get in touch with Team Sebastian at where'ssebastiansarmy@gmail.com. Oh, give him hugs for us, chemistry. All right, let's continue on.
What do you believe happened to Sebastian?
There's a big, deep breath again.
Unfortunately, over the last year, I have thought every single day, night, every moment of every possibility of something that could happen to him, where he could have gone, if he had gone with someone, if someone took him willingly, unwillingly, if he'd run away and got lost, if he'd a million different things. And unfortunately, I don't know.
When this interview first came out a month ago, lots of my subscribers told me that they thought Katie had been watching my videos and adapting what she said in interviews to match my list. And that might be the case. But the problem is, lying is hard. It's really hard. For example, she just said that she doesn't know what happened, and maybe Sebastian ran away, maybe he was taken. All the things I said innocent parents should say, right? All options should be on the table if you don't know what happened, and there's no evidence to suggest one scenario over another. But the problem is, just like any bad scriptwriter or actress, Katie is telling, not showing. In other words, if she really thought it was possible that Sebastian might have been kidnapped, why is she not addressing any potential kidnappers? She's on TV right now. Katie never addresses him through the camera either, saying something like, Sebastian, if you're out there, dial 911. Mommy and daddy are looking for you. So when I say lying is hard, That's what I mean. Acting is easy. Faking body language stuff is easy. Actually writing the script for something that you're not actually experiencing is very hard. That's why even blockbuster movies with multiple scriptwriters, continuity, proofreaders, etc., still have plot holes.
Unfortunately, I don't know.
But Katie and a private investigator she retained.
That's interesting how he thinks she may be trying to copy his 7 steps, right? You know that she's watching him again, guys. You know it. She's looking at what she did. She's probably sitting there thinking, I can never get it right. Well, you know what, Katie? How to get it right? You just tell the truth instead of trying to play some acting game, right? You tell the truth. You come clean. You tell the truth. You'll feel better. Your face won't be so red. You won't be in knots. Your stomach won't be in knots. You won't be worried. You just tell the truth. KP and CP reject the FBI reward for kidnapped and abducted Sebastian. Why? I didn't know that they were rejecting that. I thought they were rejecting Dogs and At Night's portion. And that's why I've been saying anybody who questions the amount of money that Dog and At Night are putting up only need to look at the billboards that are all across America in the busiest highways and on the borders, specifically locating near human trafficking rings and drug trafficking, all that stuff, because they would not put up that money and they would not put it on, how many billboards if it wasn't true. I agree, Jackie. I agree. If they weren't willing to put up that money, they wouldn't be putting it on billboards all across America. Yeah. The person saying that, and we all know who it is, needs to get his brains examined, in my opinion. They've never verbally agreed that he was kidnapped or abducted. She says she doesn't know. Yeah. Well, let's continue on.
Believe this piece of surveillance video taken the night that Sebastian went missing could be a lead in the case.
1217, a couple 100 yards away, there's a figure.
The Sumner County Sheriff said the video has no relevance to the case, but the Proudfoots aren't dismissing it until the identity of the person is confirmed by investigators. Unfortunately, any possible break in Sebastian's case has gone nowhere.
No child goes poof. He's somewhere.
Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, has also endured a year without his son.
Sebastian, son.
Seth brought in a team offering their own reward of $347,000. That's on top of the FBI's $50,000 reward.
To stop looking is to give up hope.
Hope that's still evident among volunteer searchers.
I'm not going to stop.
Missing signs and ribbons in Sebastian's favorite color.
And God, right now we're seeking you to reveal the truth to us.
Katie says detectives searching for that truth left no question unasked.
Lie detectors
Yes.
for yourself.
And my husband.
Which Katie says they passed. We don't know what investigators say about the test, but Katie says they have searched her home.
Thoroughly, many times. Cadavers, searchers.
What do police tell you at this point? What do they think?
Unfortunately, that they have zero evidence.
Zero trace of the boy with a
Liar,
smile
liar.
that's imprinted on countless hearts, especially, Katie says, on her own.
I would just like to tell my son that I love him and to know that we are never going to stop searching.
So a lost smile can be found. Anyone who believes they may have seen Sebastian Rogers should immediately call 1-800-TBI-FIND or the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. There is a vigil for Sebastian this Saturday, March 1st at 2 p.m. at the Celebration of Life Church in Hendersonville. And we will certainly continue to update you on any information we learn in his case. I'm Kelly Avellino.
And voila, Kelly Avellino, the journalist, did what Katie hasn't done in multiple interviews. She actually asked the public to help look for Sebastian and gave us a call to action, a number to call if we do spot him. And since my audience is so smart, I know you're probably thinking, hey, DD, didn't Katie just address Sebastian? Well, not really. Once again, it's showing, not telling. First of all, it wasn't spontaneous. It looks like the journalist asked her, what would you say to Sebastian if you could talk to him?
Exactly.
And then that's how she answered. She didn't look into the camera and address Sebastian directly. She said, I would tell him. It's the difference, for example, between saying, I love you, and saying, hey, tell my kid that I love them. Only one is a direct address. Finally, I saved my most granular point for last. As you can see here, even the news station that posted this video quoted Katie saying, we're never going to stop searching. Which is a great thing to say if you finish that up with saying, we're never going to stop searching until we find our son. Because that would imply that you know he might be out there to be found. If you simply say that we're never going to stop searching, that's a different story. That sounds more like OJ, who said he's never going to stop searching for Nicole's actual killer. Or any other number of proven hoaxers we've analyzed on the channel, who say they're never going to stop searching for the real culprit or their missing kid, or in the case of Scott Peterson, his missing wife and kid. Want more Sebastian Rogers? Let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Until next time, stay true.
So there you have it, guys. Yes, many psychopaths have passed a lie detector test. That's why they are not permitted in a court of law, guys. Right? Anybody can pass it. Yes, and you know, Mr. Yummy has said that she didn't directly address Sebastian. She didn't. Now, Seth has actually looked in the camera and said, son, if you're watching this, try to get to a phone, call 911. You know, he has directly looked into the camera and said that right directly to Sebastian. God love Mr. Yummy, yes. And I want to encourage you guys, the link for this video is in the description. Please go over there and give it a like, because we do want him to do more on Sebastian's case, right? We really do. So please go over there and give him a like, subscribe, whatever it takes, because I know that, let's see, right now he's got 1,000 likes on here. And 3,574 views as of right now. So, yes, we want to make sure that we are promoting his channel. Yeah, even share it if you want to, because the more it gets promoted, the more he will talk about Sebastian. Their heart rate doesn't change when they lie. Yeah. Katie may have done some of the things on Mr. Yummy's list, but I'm sorry, it was all scripted. You know, how did he call it? It's the difference between show and tell, right? Yeah. So, it blows my mind how you think about this, guys. How much work has she put in to trying to do it right? I mean, no wonder her face is all red. She's probably sitting there deathly afraid that she's going to do it wrong. That's why the big deep breath, blowing it out, swallow when she does make a mistake, because she's deathly afraid she's going to make a mistake. She didn't roll down her windows. Nope. You know, that was for show. That drive was for show. She already knows where Sebastian is at that point. It was all for show. These interviews, all for show. Like he said, the title, she'll never stop looking. She'll never stop searching. Yeah. Searching for what? Right? Like he said, it'd be different if she said, I will never stop searching until I bring Sebastian home. Right? And think about that's what Seth says. And he says these things without even trying, guys. He doesn't have to script himself because Seth is who he is. He makes no bones about it. He doesn't apologize for who he is. He just speaks from his heart. She'll never tell the truth. Yeah. The windows not rolled down was a giveaway for me. I had my windows down when I was looking for my lost cat. Yeah, it doesn't matter how cold it is. If it was 30 below zero in Wisconsin and my child was missing, my windows would be down and I'd be screaming with my head out the window looking as I drive slowly down the street. Yeah. She didn't because she knows he's not going to be found. I think their vacation, well, I mean, it might be of a tropical kind, maybe like a margarita. I heard there's been a lot of drinking going on. We don't know the date. It's supposed to be the end of this month, I think. I agree. If they split up, things might change. There was, and again, what I'm about to say is all speculation, so please don't take it as fact, guys. Okay, remember that. but there was evidently, allegedly, Katie talked to someone she thought was a friend, 20-something years old, and was crying on her shoulder because Chris was about to leave her, and she was afraid that he was going to be arrested any day, and she didn't want a divorce. So, that's right. Once you start lying, you have to keep it up, and you have to have a good memory. That goes along. I'll just do my grannyism early. We're not quitting yet, guys, but this kind of goes right along with it, so I'll show it. Worse than telling a lie is spending the rest of your life staying true to the lie. Exactly, Jackie. Spending the rest of your life staying true to the lie, right? Hello, Charlie. Yes, I do. I try to on every live that we do. Hello, Rose. Welcome in. I hope she does tell the truth. Just a cruel-hearted person, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's like I said at the beginning, show poodles. Now I got that going on in my head, that song, Stand By My Man. Oh. Yeah, she does. She changes her story every time she opens her mouth. She does. The last one, she went to bed at 11 instead of midnight, and both her and Chris before said midnight, right? And now all of a sudden, it was an hour after she heard the thud, which the thud was at 10 o'clock. Yeah, she changes it every single time. She changes it every single time. Let's see what else I missed. April 21st for America's Most Wanted. That will be interesting. I will. Yeah, actually, that's not something I'd be able to show, I don't think. Probably get a mark for showing something like that. She chose a man over her son, and she will be alone, and CP will have his daughter and wife 6, 7, 8, etc. Could be. Fancy her going to bed at 11, leaving CP on the phone, talking to himself. You know what would be, and we know that the police has this information, right? We know that they know how long the call was. They've got this. They pulled their records. That's what I'd like to see. I would love to see when that call ended. No, Ginger? You don't think so, huh? You don't like mullets? Oh my goodness. You know, and Neuro, when we're talking about she chose a man over her son, Chris made that, didn't he? He kind of threatened her with that. It's either him or me. Who did she choose? A normal mother, a loving mother, would choose her child every single time, right? But this mother evidently felt that her autistic 15-year-old wasn't worth it. So it kind of goes along with one of those billboards. Was I not enough? What did I do? You know, I cried, you lied. Show poodles. I prefer my man taller. I can eat soup off CB's. Oh. Granny, me too. Digital footprint gonna let them down. Yeah. Yeah. I whenever things happen. You know, if any of you missed last night's honestly, one of the things that I said, I was showing all the billboards, and guys, there's more billboards than what I showed last night. I've seen more today. It's crazy. Maybe I can show them. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. Share this one. So here's one we didn't see last night, guys. You proud now? I mean, who are they talking to, guys? I think we all know, right? This one is actually showing the picture of the billboard, and you can see it right there. Google it, y'all. With the $447,000 reward, big and bright, gold lettering. This one is actually showing it in real time. There it is. He said, if you know, we know. We do. There's another new one, guys. That one's a little bit far away for us to see. So, let's see if this one's. She told you, tell us. We saw that one last night. So, I mean, just proof that these are going up, guys, right? Really hear the wind on this one. He's standing outside taking these pictures, these videos. There it is. Do you sleep okay? That one. Here was more. Proud, not for long. That's another one. I don't know what this one says. Was I in the... Oh, was I in the way? We saw that one last night. And those are the kinds of ones that I was talking about, right? Who took me? You made me vanish. What did I do? Was it worth it? Wow. There you go. So, yeah. Who took me? Missing teen. Do you sleep okay? Have you seen me? Who took me? So, yeah, and there was a bunch more even on Facebook, guys. So, what did I show last night? 23, and there's still like 5 more that I've now seen that are again new. Yeah, the billboards are awesome. CP is all me, can't get a word in. That's true. Robin says, I didn't have a car when my daughter went missing, but we were running around like chickens with their heads cut off in the pouring, freezing rain till 4 a.m. I believe that of you, Robin. I believe that. Proudfoot. Yeah, walking cliche. Hello, Brenda Joe. Glad you made it home. That's a thought just went through my head, but I'm not going to go there. I don't want to get in trouble. Robin or Neural, this one, you got to wonder why he can't make it work with women. I'm just saying, even out here in the streets, right? And he's on number 5, so, and there's talk of divorce there. There's been talk of divorce from the beginning. Yes. And that is the biggest thing. Those billboards send a powerful message. Think about it. If you're guilty of abducting a child, doesn't matter. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. Let's just put this out there. If you're guilty of abducting a child and all of a sudden you're seeing these billboards everywhere across the United States, you're seeing them on social media, knowing that they're up and they're on there. Last night they were in 23 cities, guys. That's what they were saying. How is that going to feel if you're seeing all these things being said, right? Proud, not for long. Who took me? Have you seen me? Silence is murder. That was another one. Do you sleep okay? Right? He told you, tell us. They told you, tell us. She told you, tell us. You made me vanish. Was it worth it? What did I do? Can you imagine being the person that did this and seeing these? I know how I would feel, but I wouldn't have done it in the first place. So, but I'd be wrecked enough to probably come clean, but that's me because I don't have that kind of a heart. I wouldn't have been able to do it in the first place. Yeah, they tell the truth, don't they? And yes, guys, subscribe to Seth's channel. Ginger, do we know when he's going live again? I haven't heard anything, so. Exactly. These are the hard questions that's needed. So, what are we going to hear next? Are we going to hear something about maybe a lawsuit because of the billboards? I mean, I'm just saying, guys, it would not surprise me. Oh, me too. Wouldn't that be incredible? Wouldn't that be incredible, guys? If Sebastian saw one of these billboards and was able to get to a phone. I can think of one criticism already. I don't know if anybody is questioning these billboards or not yet. But I can think of one criticism already that's going to come out. Dogs' phone numbers on these billboards. And don't get me wrong, I do not have a problem with it. Not whatsoever, because they are the ones that are spending the money to put these up everywhere to try to keep this from becoming a cold case, guys, right? So nothing wrong with Dog putting his phone number up there at all, in my opinion. That's true. Seth said if Sebastian is found, he would go live and announce it right away, guys. So it would be good if you are subscribed to his channel, and have your notifications turned to all with the bell, because then you'll get a notification that he is live. Usually, so here's a clue. Usually we know well in advance, and I tell you guys when Seth is going to go live, right? If Sebastian is found and all of a sudden you get a notification that Seth is live and I haven't said anything, that might be important. So jump on, right? Doesn't mean I can't make a mistake, but for the last 2 lives, I have given you guys notice that when he's going to be live. So yeah, the greater population does trust Dog, right? Greater population does trust Dog, and you know, I am really excited about this, and I'm hoping and praying that something happens with this. KPTV, CPCB, MB, and DG. Yeah, I can't reach them. Can you? I'm not sure what you mean, Robin. Um, let's see. So I was going to, here it is, I think. Okay. So as far as the billboards, the campaign strategically positions its presence on major highways and interstates that connect truck routes and high traffic areas, including those with high crime rates or suspected human trafficking activities. Additionally, the U.S. Canada and U.S. Mexico borders have been designated for increased visibility. Okay. And they want us to share this campaign on social media, right? So, like I said last night, guys, you know, go to At Night Private Intelligence on X. You can get all of them there, or you can go to At Night Media on Facebook, and they have them all here. So when you click on them, there's a new one that I didn't have. You can make a copy of it, or you can share it if you want, right over here on the share button. And you can keep clicking through. Going to see all of them. He told you, tell us, was it worth it? Why'd you leave me? You joked, I bled. That one makes me sad. You just watched. Was it that easy? Was I too much? What did I do? Was I in the way? She told you, tell us. Still laughing? You made me vanish. Who took me? Who cleaned it up? I trusted you. Find me. Didn't vanish alone. I cried. You lied. They know. Do you? Silence is red rum. This is a bigger one. I can imagine seeing Sebastian's face this big. Google it, y'all. He told you, tell us. She told you, tell us. Do you sleep okay? So yeah, guys. Actually, so if you went to Facebook, you could probably, I think they're all there just by clicking on the photos. And you can share those from your Facebook every day. You know, you can share them anywhere. Instagram, TikTok, whatever. That's why their number's not on the Billboard. I agree. It was an insult to dog that the reward was called a joke. It's fired him and At Night up more than ever. It was. But I think that they also had this planned anyway, right? But it could have happened a little earlier maybe than they planned. I don't know. Right? Yeah. I would have a feeling that was I too much? Yeah. 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 I would really like to know what their thoughts are about these, but I'm sure we're going to find out. But I haven't heard anything. So is their tactic going to be they're not going to say anything about the billboards? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think they can keep their mouths shut, guys. I really don't. But yeah, I've been putting up a couple every day on my social media pages, trying to keep it alive. Katie looks like hello, Gracie. Good to see you. Welcome in. Katie looks like she just got back from the beach. I mean, I suppose she could be sunburned, but to me, that doesn't look like a sunburn. I don't know. It's hard saying. He only has the one with Betty, right? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's from drinking and from stress. That's what I think. I mean, if any of you have ever known alcoholics, their face gets real flushed like that. Yeah. The only thing about that, Neural, is that it's not on the docket. And so the reason I say that like that is because if any of you know the Brian Koberger case, many of you know how a lot of the warrants were sealed. Everything was sealed on that case. But the thing is that they were all listed. It just said sealed, and you couldn't click on anything to look at it until it was unsealed. Then you could look. Okay? But they were all listed there. That criminal warrant isn't listed under Chris Proudfoot's name. Yeah, and rosacea is caused by stress and nerves. Right? So, yeah, all goes together. No, I believe that case has been closed and everything was left the way it was. The visitation, all of it was left the way it was. Because I think he realized after Sebastian went missing and there was so much intense publicity on him and Katie that he wasn't going to win it. Plus, I think that, Seth wouldn't have had a problem going there with the 5 CPS reports. It was fake from his YouTubers. Did they show it? Because from what I heard, he said that it was the warrant for Betty's court coming up on tomorrow, is it? Or the 16th? Yes, it would be. Right, right. And I heard that scanner as well. Anyone heard from the PI? No, I don't think so. I will show you, Neural. Let me see if I can get in there. Sumner County. So there's only one in his name, and that was for his divorce. That was for his divorce. Let's see. While I put that in there, I'm going to go back here a second. Okay. And this is under Katie. This was pending, but it wasn't that the second that happened, that criminal warrant. And what it is for, I can't show it to you, but because I think that would be doxing, but it's for the Bullhorn Betty one. Okay. So what I'm saying is that everything shows, but you can't click on them if they're sealed. Okay. You're not going to see like additional parties. And then there's all kinds of information. You guys can go check this for yourself if you want. Here. I will put the link in the stream for you. So there's that link. But yes, so they all show up, but if they're sealed, you won't be able to click on them. Chris only has the one showing. So unfortunately, as much as I hate saying this, Chris is right. There was no criminal warrants served to him. The criminal warrant was for Katie, for Betty's appeal. KP showed issued, but now it shows served on April 2nd. So, yeah, it's been changed even since I last looked at it. So, because I was keeping an eye too to make sure, guys, because it's always going to show up on the docket, right? And Chris only has the one. and that was from his divorce with Nina. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Yeah, now it's served. Yep. Well, it took a while to show on the website, but it was served on that day that they went on the scanner and said that they had a criminal warrant for blah blah blah, and it actually wasn't a real criminal warrant. It was, a warrant for them to appear for Katie's appeal. So, I know a little bit about how that stuff works only because I used to work for the courthouse in the child support office. So I have some knowledge of that stuff, but not a lot, guys, but I'm just telling you that that's how I know to go and find these things. It's all public, right? Unless it's sealed. Like in Brian Koberger's case, it was sealed, right? So many things were sealed, and now things are getting unsealed, which is awesome. Little by little, it's all coming out in his case. Hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents. It's crazy. Which I have no desire to look through. I wait for other people to say, hey, this has come about. So then I report on it. But someday, I'm going to go to that website and we're going to see something, right? And that's going to be awesome. That's going to be so awesome. I can't wait for that day. And I hope Sebastian is home by the time we see something like that, right? In the meantime, oh, Robin, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're no longer. Good for you. Couldn't even get out of bed, yeah. Alcohol never liked me, and I think it's because of my Meniere's disease. I think I had it long before I actually knew I had it, because I could not drink much. You can ask Brenda Joe. I can have a drink and I'm tipsy. So back in the day, I got sick. I was hugging the throne. I don't know, but they need a new one. Isn't it time for him to go to heaven? He's 81. I mean, he's lived a good, long life, right? No, guys, don't take that the wrong way. Natural causes. That's all I'm saying. He's 81. You have Meniere's too, Charlie. Yeah, it sucks. With all this weather change, I have been dizzier than all get out lately. It's been horrible. You like that? Oh, goodness. Yes. Yes, it is, Jackie. It is caused by too much fluid buildup in the ear. And when weather changes, I always have a problem. It causes bad vertigo and vomiting, and you never know when it's going to hit. Is it well, there was 2 days that Brenda was here, and we went out and we took Lacey to get her groomed, and while she was there, we went out to eat. I was not feeling good the whole time, and then there was another day where had to do a Walmart run to get my medication and picked up, some food and stuff. I was standing there all wobbly waiting for my medications. Wasn't sure I was going to make it. And I do have medicine for it, but it's basically stress, yes, and weather. Yep, exactly, Charlie. Charlie, will you please tell me, has your doctor said that there's a cure for Meniere's? Let me know what your thoughts are. I know what mine are, but hello, life's a dance. Yeah, but that was a different day, I guess. It wasn't the same day as when he was missing. We found that out later. Yes, that's no fun. No fun. Not at all. It's horrible. Anyway, the medication that I have for it, I don't know what you take for it, Charlie, but it's just a nausea medication, and it makes you sleepy. Knocks me out. There you go. No cure. He gave me injections for 3 weeks for the nausea. Yeah. So, yeah. Gotcha. It's an antihistamine. Yeah. I take meclizine. And I also use Alka-Seltzer Cold Plus when it's really bad. Stand on head to move the fluid. Neural, try standing on your head when you're dizzy. See how that works for you. Oh, prednisone in your ears. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I've tried that. It doesn't do anything. But yeah, so talking about our ailments. So there you go. We've got a lot to look forward to as far as I'm curious if they're going to come out with more. I don't think they need to. I think they've got enough different billboards that they can just keep going through them. But I'm really curious to see if something happens from these, right? You fall a lot, Charlie. Yeah. Injections didn't help either. I have my sister's best friend actually had one of her ears ear canals clipped, which makes her deaf in that ear, but she couldn't even get out of bed. She was just like totally, down with it, that she felt as though, yeah, They are. They are horrible. They are. The worst part about it is that I people don't understand it, right? And that's the worst part. And they don't understand that you can't hear as good. It's just bad all the way around. But and like Charlie, like wanting closed captions, right? People don't understand that. I don't know how many videos I go to and they don't have that. It's really frustrating for someone who can't hear well. And that's why I told people from the beginning that my channel is always going to be full blast that I can do for that purpose. The reason being is that when I go to listen to a video with you guys, I have to hear it. So, so that I know what I'm going to talk about, yeah. So I understand why you want closed captions, Charlie. Oh, yours comes and goes. Mine's just gone. Mine's just gone. My left ear is totally done, and my right ear probably, I don't know, 90% gone. I have to have a hearing aid in my right ear in order to hear anything. Yeah, no worries, Charlie. I totally get it. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. Let me look here. So I can look while it's not in there. I'm looking at the actual bonds. Yeah, I think you guys are right. It's about them bringing in the amount. Huh, can't click on it. Okay, but I think you guys are right. I think it's about bringing in the information that they have against her. Another young man on the spectrum, 21 years, missing in Washington State, no shoes also. That is weird. He's 21 years old or he's 21 years missing, Jackie? Tomorrow I am going to I'm going to play for you a phone call from a woman who called into a podcast and talked about her autistic child who's 19 and how he reacts. And we're going to play this call against the TRH video and get your thoughts on it. He's 21 years old. Gotcha. I'll have to look into that. Jonathan Hoeing. I've heard of him. How long has he been missing, Jackie? The no shoes thing is weird to me, right? If it's summertime for 19 or 21-year-old, I get that, I guess, but I don't know. Just sad. Very sad. So, yeah, guys, we'll be talking about Sebastian tomorrow. We're going to listen to another, like I said, a call, and then watch the TRH video while we're watching the call, because she's telling about how her son reacts when he's stressed or upset. And I want us to kind of look at the way Sebastian was acting and hearing how her child reacts. So very, very similar. The 30th, March 25th. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll look it up. We may do a little short blip about him tomorrow too then. All right. So that's all I have for tonight, guys. I want to thank you all for being here. Please hit the like button on your way out. I would really appreciate it. And hit subscribe. Ring the bell. Get all the notifications so that you're notified when we do go live. And we will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.